Welcome to Cut the Cable, presented by the Warren Newport Public Library. This presentation will discuss ways to stream home entertainment without a cable or satellite service contract. Before we begin, please keep the following points in mind. All prices discussed in this presentation are estimates and are subject to change. This is being recorded in April of 2018, and all prices were verified prior to recording. However, please make sure that you verify the cost of each service before you subscribe to it. The library is not advocating for any specific streaming service, company, or method of viewing your favorite shows. We are providing this information strictly for informational purposes. In order to stream your entertainment, you must have adequate internet data speed. Otherwise, you're going to have a frustrating experience with streaming your entertainment at home. 5 megabits per second is the minimum amount that is recommended through Netflix and other services, but I highly recommend that you have at least 15 megabits per second. Otherwise, you're going to experience stalling and lag time in your video playback. Also keep in mind that if you currently have a service bundle for your cable, phone, and internet service, you need to verify how backing out of a portion of that bundle will affect your overall cost. If it's going to cost you too much to back out of a portion of that service contract, that would definitely affect your decision of whether or not to stream or keep your cable or satellite service. You also want to consider what your personal viewing experience is. Are you the kind of person who wants to watch your television shows or movies on a computer or cell phone, or do you prefer to watch your shows on a television? If you prefer television, you might find streaming to be a slightly different experience. Unlike channel surfing, where you would sit down, turn on the cable or satellite box and start looking to see what's on, streaming generally involves going directly to a specific service and looking for a specific show or movie. One thing to keep in mind is that you can test out most streaming services before you actually subscribe to them, and before you actually cancel your cable or satellite service. So you can test out how you feel about viewing shows or movies through a streaming service before you actually go ahead and sign up and then get rid of your cable or satellite. Also, consider that you may lose some of your equipment when you cancel your cable or satellite service. If you currently have a DVR that you're using to record shows or movies, if you cancel your cable or satellite contract, you're going to lose that equipment. So you might want to consider adding your own personal DVR before getting rid of your cable or satellite service. So where do we begin? There are so many streaming options available. There are many services and many devices that you can actually use for your streaming needs. The first thing you need to do is make a couple of quick decisions. You need to make a list of the shows and stations that you currently can't live without. If there are television shows that you want to make sure that you don't miss, you want to make sure that you're still going to be able to have access to those after getting rid of cable or satellite. Your local stations like WGN, Channel 5 out of Chicago, you will want to make sure that you can still access those shows. Second, you're going to want to make a list of television shows and movie channels that you're going to want to add to your viewing repertoire. If you want to add lots of programming, definitely make a list of those shows and stations that you can't live without that you want to add to your repertoire. Make sure that you have a list of those before embarking on any decisions. Next, you want to set a budget goal. Start with your cable or satellite bill. How much are you currently paying per month and how much are you paying per year? And then set a goal. Do you want to actually reduce what you're paying, or do you want to add programming to what you currently have? Also remember to include the cost of any necessary equipment for access to each of these services. We're going to discuss streaming through devices, whether it's a smart TV or a peripheral like a Blu-ray or DVD player, plus actually purchasing an individual device. So what equipment are you going to need? First and foremost, you need to have data service in order to access any streaming service. All streaming services come across internet lines. You need to have access to fast internet in order to have a satisfactory experience streaming your programming. Again, at least 5 megabits per second, but the faster the better. If you're looking for more information about the ins and outs of actually setting up your internet service to have it be ideal for streaming, If you're looking for equipment recommendations, take a look at this website. It's Cut Cable Today. That is a great resource. This guy has plenty of information about equipment bundles and other ins and outs of streaming. Take a look at the website. It is a nonprofit site. He only keeps, I think he sells advertising space in order to be able to maintain it. But other than that, is entirely his information, and it's a really, really great how-to site. In addition to your other equipment, you are going to need to consider getting an antenna and or a receiver. Depending on the type of television that you currently have, you will need to find out if you need to purchase a digital tuner in order to receive the best signal possible. About 10-15 years ago, the federal government switched over all streaming of television signals from analog to digital. So now in order to receive television signals at home, you need to make sure that you have a digital receiver. Most modern televisions, anything made in the last 10 years, will already include a digital receiver. Just check your owner's manual and see what your actual television set consists of. You also will want to consider getting an antenna. In order to see local broadcast stations like WGN or WLS, you will need to have an antenna. There are several different kinds out there. You can get the kind that attaches to an individual television, or they have whole house antennas that actually install like in your attic that allow every television in your house to have local channel service. There's a couple of different websites that you would want to take a look at before doing this. There's one called AntennaWeb. AntennaWeb will actually tell you how strong of a signal you will get from your home. Most people in the Gurnee area are not going to have much trouble at all with strength of signal, but if you're in a more rural area, you definitely might want to check that out to find out just how strong of an antenna you may need. There's also a website called Tom's Guide to OTA Antennas. OTA stands for over the air, and these are antennas that will help. He's got all kinds of reviews. These antenna reviews will help you choose the antenna that you need for your purposes. Now you're going to need a smart TV and or a streaming device. If you have a smart TV, you probably already know that, it's a TV that it can actually run and stream through apps. If you have a smart TV, usually you have a button on your remote that lets you know that you can move into the app section or the service section. Sometimes it will even say Netflix or Amazon right on it. You simply click the button and you're able to start running services through individual apps. If you don't have a smart TV, you might want to look at some of the peripheral devices that you currently have in your home before running out and buying a streaming device. If you have a Blu-ray player or a DVD player or a game console like a PlayStation or a Wii, many of those units actually have built-in app services that allow you to access streaming services. So definitely check your user's manual for all of the peripheral devices that you already own. You can also purchase an actual streaming device. There are several different types out there. Now, included with this presentation, we will have a link to some spreadsheets that we have that list individual devices and the different services that are available on those devices. Each TV, DVD player, Blu-ray player, depending on what company made the device, will contract with different streaming services. So one smart TV might have access to Netflix and Pandora and Crackle. Another might have access to Amazon and Hulu Plus. You simply need to go in and look and see which services this specific device has access to. You might find that you need to access different services through different devices. So please keep that in mind and definitely check out those handouts. Now, what other equipment? You may actually need to go out and purchase an individual streaming device. There are things like Apple TV, Amazon Fire Stick, Roku, Chromecast, or Android TV. Each of these products varies in price, and each has different apps available for streaming. Now, you do still need to subscribe to the individual services from each of these apps, but each of these devices will give you access to different services. And finally, you might want to consider purchasing a DVR. If you already have a DVR with your cable or satellite service, you will probably miss it if you get rid of it if you cancel that service. A A DVR just allows you to record shows and keep kind of a digital library of what you're watching. You can purchase an actual set-top DVR, kind of like what we've got here at the bottom of the screen, or you can purchase access to an over-the-air DVR. An over-the-air DVR lets you store your programming in the cloud, and then you can gain access to it no matter where you are, as long as you have your login and password. So how do you know what's playing and where? One of the best features of streaming is the fact that it is on demand. Most of the time you can sit down and watch the show that you want to watch immediately and not have to wait for the broadcast time. However, for first-run shows, things like Game of Thrones or Homeland, each new episode, when it's presented, is presented at a specific new broadcast time. Game of Thrones is always at 8 o'clock on Sunday nights. How do you find out when things are playing? There are several different websites out there that you can use as a digital TV guide. There's one called streamingtvguides.com. It allows you to choose the streaming service that you use, and then it presents the stations and tells you what time different shows will be on. There really isn't a great single resource out there like the cable channel guides that you get from your cable service or your satellite service, but they're definitely becoming more and more common. There's also a couple apps like Fan TV and the Yahoo Video Guide. Both of them are available from Apple and Google Play, and they allow you to search for who's showing what shows at what time based on specific services. Now, the individual streaming services available, there's so many different options out there. A lot of these services might actually overlap with each other, but a lot of them offer very unique programming. Netflix is available for beginning at $8 per month, and that's for basic unlimited streaming service, up through $14 per month for their premium service. Their premium service has higher definition streaming. You also get, I believe, a couple of extra logins with that particular Netflix account. Now, Netflix not only has the movies that you are allowed to stream, they also have their own independent programming. Shows like Stranger Things have been wildly popular. And for that low $8 a month payment, you're actually getting quite a bit of entertainment from Netflix. Now, there are other services like Showtime and HBO Now. Both of those are considered premium movie stations on a regular cable or satellite package. You can now actually buy independent access to those stations and everything that they provide. If you want access to HBO Now and all of their original programming, plus the movies that they show, that's $15 a month. With Showtime, you can actually get access to both Showtime and Hulu Plus. So you're getting all of the movies from Showtime, all of Showtime's original programming like Homeland. Combined, you can get that for $9 for Showtime and $8 for Hulu Plus. Hulu Plus provides you access to primetime lineups from Fox and NBC, ABC, and the CW, but it does not include local programming. That's what you need that antenna for. If you buy Showtime independently, it's $11 a month, but for $17 a month, you get access to both Hulu and Showtime. There is another service called Sling, and Sling offers several different packages, but it is really essentially basic cable service. You get stations like AMC, CNN, Lifetime, A&E, the History Channel for $20 per month. By adding on a couple of different packages like a sports package or a kids show package, you can add other specific channels like things like Cartoon Network to that basic Sling service. You can also get access to ESPN. ESPN by itself is $20 a month, but if you pay an additional $5 a month, you get access to ESPNU, ESPN News, and the SEC network. Finally, another service that's really, I find useful for so many reasons is Amazon.com. For $99 a year, or roughly $8.99 a month, you can get access to Amazon.com's streaming service. They have a wide variety of movies that are available through this package, much like using Netflix, where you're able to stream them and watch them at home. They also have original programming that's available through Amazon. Plus, if you get the Amazon.com service, you're also getting Prime free shipping. That means on anything that you buy from certain vendors through Amazon, you're getting free 2-day shipping. Amazon also offers access to a really large music library that you get to stream music for free from. and you get access to things like free books. So Amazon.com is a bargain on many levels. Another service to consider that's a brand new one is YouTube TV. Now, this is not YouTube Red. YouTube Red is the service YouTube offers where you don't have to watch commercials while you're watching their regular service. YouTube TV is actual TV channels. You're actually getting basic cable channels like ESPN, the Big Ten Network, CBS. It does not include Turner Network stations such as TBS, but it includes quite a bit of other programming besides that. Now, for $40 a month, you actually get 6 family licenses, each with their own login and DVR access. So this means you could actually share a subscription to YouTube TV with people in multiple households. If you wanted to go in with your mother and your sister and your brother, you can get 6 different licenses to log in with and use at different homes. And again, that's $40 a month. Now, you also get unlimited DVR access through this service. This means that everybody can record all of the different shows and movies that they want with an unlimited storage amount for 9 months. Now, the only catch with that is that it does require a Chromecast device. That's a streaming device. Now, I can say, though, that the Chromecast device is one of the least expensive streaming devices available, and it can be plugged in on any computer or television that has a USB drive on it. Chromecast is usually available for anywhere from about $20 to about $35. So that's kind of a small expense to get unlimited DVR access. You can also record multiple shows simultaneously, so you don't have to wait while somebody else is recording something. You can record as many shows as you want. Now, again, this does not include commercial-free streaming. You're still going to be watching the commercials that are on these regular cable channels, but this sounds like a pretty good deal, and I think this is something that a lot of people would really find that they liked. Now, there are some free streaming services out there. There's a service called Crackle, and it's owned by Sony, so they stream original Sony content, movies like Born on the 4th of July and Brian's Song. There's a wide variety of comedies available from Crackle. They also provide access to a lot of TV shows, the full run of several different TV shows. Things like All in the Family, you can watch the entire show from start to finish, all for free through Crackle. All you need to have is the Crackle app available on the device you're streaming from. There's also a service called Tubi TV that also shows a lot of B-movies and forgotten TV shows, things like Camelot and Freaks and Geeks. And finally, there's Popcorn Flicks. Popcorn Flicks offers a really wide catalog of B and C-level horror movies. So especially around Halloween, Popcorn Flicks is a really great service to check out. There's a few other freebies out there. There's a station called Pluto TV, which is an online digital TV guide. It actually lets you click and play directly from a directory of shows. It will immediately pull up the show and let you start watching it. Documentary Heaven features strictly documentaries. If you love the documentaries that you see on the Academy Awards, this is the place to go view those. YouTube has actually been around for years, but a lot of people really rely on it quite a bit for original programming. There are lots of YouTube streamers out there that have their own original shows that are very popular, especially with kids. And for the most part, YouTube still remains free. And finally, you also should consider Hoopla.com or Hoopla Digital. That's a website that the library subscribes to. There's an app that you can download, and the library pays for you to have 5 checkouts per month through this service. And it includes original movies. It includes very popular movies, in addition to full music albums, ebooks, and e-audiobooks. So definitely check that one out. Now, there's a few other resources that you can use to help to decide which shows you might want to watch and what resources you can get them through. The Cord Cutter from TheVerge.com actually offers a quick way to see which streaming services provide access to popular shows on which devices and cable stations. It also provides a really nice shortcut to seeing how much these services will cost. There's also a website called Can I Stream It? Can I Stream It will tell you if your favorite TV show or movie is available through a streaming service. So if you're not sure if one of your favorite older movies is even available through a streaming service, you can type that into Can I Stream It, and they will tell you which service you can gain access to that movie or TV show through. There's some other things that you should also take a look at. When you're doing your budget for your overall entertainment value, make sure that you're considering actual movies that you go to on a monthly basis. Consider that as part of your budget when you're looking at your entertainment budget. You also want to consider adding a budget line for things like movie rentals. The red box that you see at the grocery store, absolutely, you could consider that as part of your budget. There are also streaming rental services. Both Vudu and Amazon allow you to rent movies and stream them from home. So you can go in and find brand new movies that have just been released, and you can actually rent them at home through these streaming services. You can also purchase the movies and have a permanent copy for yourself through these services as well. So you're not just streaming it, you're actually purchasing a digital license to own this film. And finally, don't forget about checking out free movies from the Warren Newport Public Library. We have an extensive DVD and Blu-ray collection, and all of those are still available for free to check out. Now it's time to do the math. Can you actually save yourself some money or add quite a bit of programming without breaking the bank with all of these different services? This is the worksheet that's at the very end of those spreadsheets I told you about earlier, that you can actually use this worksheet to go about calculating how much money you can save or how much it'll cost you to add additional programming to your current services. Now, if I go through this worksheet, let's say we add the basic service for Hulu, which is going to be network television, the basic service for Netflix, which is going to be the basic service for streaming at home, basic movies. If I add the annual or even the monthly membership for Amazon Prime, it really breaks down to $8.99 per month. And that gives me access to streaming movies as well as the free shipping. If I add a Sling service, this is our basic cable service. If you add a $20 Sling service, and then you add HBO Now for $15 a month, that gives you full access to HBO. The $9 access to Showtime that comes along with Hulu. If we were to also add CBS All Access and ESPN, all of those services together only come out to about $70. So depending on what your current cable or satellite bill is, $70 with no additional regulatory fees or taxes actually might be a real bargain. So please take some time and sit and sift through some of these services, decide what you might really need and want, and take a look at it. Streaming services do not get subjected to the same taxes and regulatory fees right now that cable and satellite service do. So there may be a break in the overall price that way as well. Just a quick note, there are some new, quote-unquote new, cable and satellite services available out there. Some of these are not necessarily cheaper, but they are an upgrade in service. There's a new one called Layer 3. It's being called the New Cable, and it's a fiber digital cable service. Essentially, it's an internet dedicated cable service. So it's not going over your regular internet service line. It's a dedicated internet line, but it provides 4K level service for streaming. This means you're getting super high definition programming to your regular television set. So if you're somebody that really values a very sharp picture, if you've bought the highest end TV and you want to make sure that you get the highest end picture, this definitely might be something to consider. Now, it's not any cheaper than cable or satellite service. It actually might even come out to be a little bit more. But it is a very high definition service. So if that's what you're looking for, Layer 3 might be something that you could take a look at. If you have questions about any of the services we've talked about here or any of the processes for switching over from cable or satellite to streaming, please don't hesitate to contact the library. You can call the Adult Services Desk and we'll be happy to try to answer any questions that you have. Our phone number is 847-244-5150, and you can press 4 for Adult Services. Thank you for your time and good luck with your streaming choices.